Charlie, I'm so excited to see you being inducted into the Texas Business Hall of Fame. It's a well-deserved honor and is long overdue. It's hard to believe that your career with Broadway Bank spans nearly 60 years, and in that time your vision and leadership made Broadway Bank one of the most successful and respected financial institutions in South Texas. It's a real tribute to your leadership that the bank grew from $13 million in assets to more than $1.7 billion during your tenure. And even through severe economic downturns, Broadway Bank always remained stable and successful. What I especially admire is your commitment to supporting so many different civic and charitable causes throughout our community. You are a shining example of the motto that you're never really a success until you share that success with others. Another thing I admire about you is the fact that you also spent many years serving our country in the U.S. Air Force and the Texas National Guard. You have such an easygoing personality, I think a lot of people would be shocked to realize you're a graduate of West Point and a jet pilot. You have had an amazing career and have achieved tremendous success in every aspect of your life, including raising a wonderful, accomplished family and giving so much to San Antonio's business and civic community, the state of Texas, and our nation. I'm proud to be your friend. It's my distinct honor to welcome you in the Texas Business Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Charlie.
Beginning in 1941 with Colonel Charles E. Cheever Sr., Broadway Bank pioneered the model of a community bank, and under the continued visionary leadership of Charles Cheever Jr., has produced 75 years of good for the people of San Antonio and beyond.
I love the motto because it says multiple things. 75 years of being good bankers, 75 years of being good for the families they serve, and 75 years of good for people, for the community. That's a win-win-win proposition when you can be good, good, good.
Community banks are the economic generator for prosperity in the United States, because community banks is who funds small business, and that leads to business expansion and, most important, job growth.
We weren't really striving to be the most profitable bank or anything like that. We just wanted to take care of the customer and our employees and let the chips fall where they may. We just try to do everything we could to accommodate the customer and forget traditional banking things.
Charlie Cheever Jr. was headed for a career in law when he found himself becoming a banker through a back door. But then his parents, Colonel Charles Cheever Sr. and wife Elizabeth, hadn't started with much more knowledge themselves.
It's a really interesting story. He really learned banking by going down to the public library and checking out books on it. He had no training whatsoever in banking or in finance or accounting or any of those kind of things that bankers are known for. I'm
sure that there have been many influences on Charlie over his life, and I have to believe that one of the primary ones was his father, who was just a rock-solid, resolute example of an American militarily oriented leader. And I'm sure that West Point was an important influence on Charlie as well.
I got a surprise appointment to West Point. I was only 16. I was really thinking Army in those days. I decided being a ground soldier wasn't near as romantic as being a pilot, so I decided to go Air Force. You know, there's certain turning points in your life, and one of them was that I decided to take a night school course at St. Mary's University. I truly believe that if I had not gone to that night school course, I would have been a 30-year Air Force person, and I would have never had the idea of going to law school. I got out of law school. I came back to San Antonio discouraged about law and what they were paying in those days. And my dad said, well, if you're going to starve, we can starve you at the bank. 4 years later, I got made president, and there was a chuckle in the newspaper that day, and it said, some people get to the top with a bang, others do it with a pop. And everybody read that, you know, I got it there because of a pop. because my father was chairman of the board.
Charlie has always been that kind of human that you liked and respected, that he was a doer and made a difference. He made a difference in community banks, not just for Broadway Bank, but for the entire community banking industry.
I did my best as a banker to be innovative and do new things early on with ATMs, early on with a full service brokerage department in our bank. I was kind of a rebel and did some things that nobody liked. Extended hours, motor bank hours. There was no branch banking in Texas at the time. We had a office that made loans only. We could not take deposits out on Nacogdoches Road. The big event was we decided to move the bank all the way out from Alamo Heights all the way out to Loop 410, which was not Loop 410 then. It was 2 lanes each way, country road really. And but I saw the future was on 410, and so we moved our bank out there, and the regulators were very surprised and were very concerned at first, and then jokingly told me that my competitors were all objecting to it, so it must have been a good idea.
He's walked a very mature balance between doing enough to grow the bank, but not doing the go-go things that got banks in trouble. I admire the toughness, the balance, the foresight that it takes to find that balance and not be shaken from it.
Charlie's one of those kind of people that doesn't give up. That's where his strength is.
My father had a great saying that if you take care of the employees, you take care of the customers, the numbers will take care of themselves.
He knows that there are going to be peaks and valleys, and that's just a part of life. But he keeps moving forward and keeps building and goes through that. And that's the reason he's been so successful.
Charlie's love for the people of San Antonio began at home with his late wife, Sally, and his 4 daughters and 2 sons. Not surprisingly, 2 daughters, a son-in-law, and 2 granddaughters are with the bank today, continuing the traditions of innovating and expanding services.
As I think of Charlie, I believe it's a part of his journey in life to be a leader in the community.
I was president of the Chamber of Commerce, president of the Economic Development Foundation, president of the United Way. To the young students that are in the audience, I want to say that if you get in banking business, you have lots of opportunities to help the community, because the community looks upon bankers as leaders.
When he has an interest in something, whether it's civic or it's a nonprofit, he says yes, but with enthusiasm and passion, and that's the kind of person you want to be around.
For Charlie Cheever and his wife Nancy, pride comes down to one idea: San Antonio.
Well, I think that we are really proud to live in San Antonio, be part of the community. I've spent most of my adult life as a San Antonian. It's just a wonderful place to live, and it's a wonderful people.
If you were putting together a top 10 list of the people who've been most influential in forging modern San Antonio, Charlie Cheever would be well ensconced on that list.
A secret of my success would be I stuck with a goal of success, that I picked the right people and we worked together to achieve success.
Charlie has been a leader, seeing the future and the changes that need to be made, not only for his bank, but for the entire industry. And he is a leader.
He's got a glint in his eye, he's got a smile on his face, he's got a quip. Really special human being, brings human qualities to the business of banking and community service.